We got this wreath from Hobby Lobby. It's 24 inches and we paid $17.99. So I'm just going to go ahead and push down it very gently and just try to make it a little more oval instead of round. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start fluffing out the branches of the wreath. Now this mesh ribbon came from the Wreath shop. It was $4.75. It's 10 by 10. And we're just going to go ahead and cut it down to 18 inches. I got this blade from Michael's, but if you don't have the blade, you can use a pair of scissors. It works just as well. We're going to go ahead and take the ribbon, lay it down flat, and then just take your scissors and go straight up, and no problem, because it's just as easy. So we're going to go ahead and cut this mesh ribbon down, and then we'll be ready for our next step of putting the mesh ribbon inside of our wreath. I'm going to take the mesh ribbon and roll it into itself. This way the corners and edges won't fray. And then I'm going to take two branches, open it up, place the mesh ribbon in between it. And then I'm going to twist the branches around each other, so this way we can secure the mesh ribbon inside of the wreath. And then once we have that done, we're going to get another piece of mesh ribbon and do the exact same thing, roll it into itself, and then go ahead and stick it in between two branches. And then you just really tying the branches around the mesh ribbon. Like I said, just to go ahead to keep it secure 2 or 3 times will hold it. Plus, if you want to add a pick or ribbon to the branch, you can just go ahead and lay it right on top and tie it because you have enough room. Or you can just reopen the branches and add the pick or ribbon on top of the mesh ribbon. Either method will secure your mesh ribbon or your picks to your wreath. Now we're going to go ahead and take this orange ball pick that we got from Wreath the Waldo. There were $5.50 each. We're going to use 2 orange and 2 pink. And what I'm going to do is take my blade and slice it down. So instead of putting one whole pick inside of the wreath, I'm going to slice this down to 3 so we can get more bang for our bucks. And if you want, you can always slice it all the way down to 5 separate little picks from this one pick. So that way you can just buy one and have 10 picks, 5 orange, 5 pink. But I'm just going to go ahead and slice it down. Instead of 1, make it 3. This way we have more to add throughout our wreath instead of 4 just large picks. Now, as you can see, it's not hard to take these picks apart. I just take the blade and slice it down. It's just wrapped around the paper. And then I take my little pliers and cut the long stem because we don't need the whole stem. So they're not hard to take apart. You can use a blade or a pair of scissors. Just take the scissors, one blade of the scissors, and take your time and be careful and just use that to slice the paper open. I am going to add a little hot glue to this pick only because the paper is coming apart from us cutting. So I'm just going to add a little hot glue, and then when I put it in between the two branches, we know it will definitely stay intact. We're going to put it in between the two branches and do it the same way that we did the mesh ribbon. Place it down and twist it 2 to 3 times, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next pick. I'm going to flip the wreath over, and then I'm going to take the end of the pick and wrap it around the frame. Once I have this secure, I'll just take one of the branches and wrap that branch around the end of the pick. It secure it and also covers up the back of the pick. So when you flip it over, you just see greenery. Now, if you want, you could always add hot glue to the frame and then place the pick around. But I feel as though once you wrap that end of that pick around and take that one little branch and wrap it around tight, you don't have to worry about the pick coming out, but you can always add hot glue. After adding a couple more picks, I'm going to go ahead and flip the wreath over, and then I'm going to go ahead and secure the stems of the pick onto the wreath the same way I did it. We begin it folded over. Like I said, you can add hot glue, but I just like to wrap that tip around the frame and then take the branches and wrap it around and secure it that way. Here we have a 31-inch orange glitter fish line spray. We got this from Wreath from Waldo's. We're going to use 2, and this was $4.50, and we're going to do it the same way that we did our picks. We're just going to go ahead and take our Deco knife, and we're going to go ahead and split it open. This way, like I said, so we get a little bit more bang for our buck, and then this way it's just not this one big piece coming out of our wreath. We'll just take that a wow effect and put it throughout the wreath. This pink twig spray also came from Wreath by Waldo. We're going to use 1, and it was $5.50. And this right here, we didn't even have to cut it. I just went to the bottom of it, and I just politely untwisted it, and it came apart with just the ease. And I think for the price of $4.50 and $5.50, these were definitely a great price because you could cut them down or take them apart and use several pieces from just that one piece. And as you can see, all I did was twist it apart and it came away easily. We're going to go ahead and do our sprays the exact same way we did our picks. We're going to go ahead and place them in our wreath, open two branches, place them in between the two branches, and then twist and tie them together. You can always add hot glue, and then don't forget at the end, we'll just take and flip our wreath over and use the ends of our spray to wrap it around the frame of our wreath, and then we'll take one branch and wrap that around the end to cover it up, and then also to secure it to our wreath. Now we'll add a little hot glue to the end only because we don't want it to come apart for as the paper since we did slice it down. But that still is optional. And then, as I said, we're going to flip it over, and then you just wrap the ends around the frame and then use that one branch to cover it up. And you can also add hot glue. I feels like I'm being a broken record, but it's however you want to do. You can do like I do, just wrap the end around the wreath and then take that branch and cover it up. Or if you're going to give it away or you're going to sell it, then go ahead and add that extra hot glue because it does not hurt. I'm going ahead and continue to add the 6 sprays. And then once we're done with that, we're going to just go ahead and add the pink twig the exact same way we did the sprays and the other picks. We're going to place them in order. We're going to open up a branch in two, close it and twist it around, and then just go ahead to the next one. And then once we're done, we're going to go flip the wreath over and bend the tips to the frame and then cover them up. So it's the exact same process that we started with the picks. We're going to go ahead and continue it with the twigs. This is I got this mesh ribbon from the Wreath shop. It was $4.75, the pink, and then I also got the orange from Hobby Lobby, which was $7.99. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with the mesh. Open it up, roll the two ends together in the middle, pinch it, then open two branches, and then twist the branches around the mesh ribbon at least 2 to 3 times to secure it. Then move the wreath and add the next color. So I'm going to do pink and orange just to keep the color going. And also, the Wreath Shop sells the mesh ribbon, which is 10 by 10 for $4.75, also $5.50. And they have mesh ribbon all year round in all colors. So it just depends on what you need. Whereas though Hobby Lobby has certain colors, they do put their mesh ribbon on sale at least once a month for 40% off. And Michael is here and there. But one thing about the Reef Shop is that they have the colors all year round, where the other two stores only do it during the holidays or the different seasons. That's how they change out their mesh ribbon. Now I cut each piece down to 18 inches and I was able to use one roll of each. Now you could always add more mesh ribbon if you want to, but I wanted to add ribbon in here, and also we have to put the lollipops on top of it. So once we put the lollipops on it, put the ribbon on here, if we see anywhere like there's any holes or anything, then we can go back and add more mesh ribbon. So we're just going to go ahead and finish up with our mesh ribbon, and then we're going to move over to the lollipops.
The 29 pink and orange lollipop that we got from Wreath by Waldo. It was $16.95 each. I'm going to cut the stem down. Now, I did cut it down a little shorter than what I should have, but I made sure not to do that on the second one. But we're going to put a lot of glue on this one side of this cake and place this lollipop down on the mesh ribbon, and that's what's going to keep it secure. And also, I want to take one of the branches and wrap it around the stem of the lollipop to also hold on, so we're okay. The second one, I did cut it a little longer. Like I said, we're going to put a lot of glue on the back of this and just mesh it down right on top of that ribbon, and that will keep it in place. Go ahead and do the exact same thing to the second lollipop that I did to the first. I'm going to place it on the wreath to see exactly where I want it, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the stem and also use hot glues to secure this lollipop right next to the other lollipop with a little hot glue in between them. So some of the reasons why I buy from Wreath by Walter is I feel that she has good quality merchandise. It ships very well. She ships to Hawaii. I spent $125 and she will ship here. And she is also a vet, so she understands what it's like to move around and then not have items shipped to you, especially when you live in Hawaii and Alaska. So I'm very happy for that. And like I said, I just really believe her merchandise is very of good quality. As you can see, I took the second stem of the lollipop and I actually wrapped that around the frame. I added a little hot glue just to secure it and wrap one of the branches around it. Now, the first lollipop, I did cut the stem a little short, but I was able to wrap it around the first frame, and then also I'm going to add a little hot glue. You can also flip your wreath over and make sure you add enough hot glue to the lollipop in the mesh, and you should have no problems. Now, to make sure that the lollipop stay together and in alignment, I am going to add some hot glue in between the both of them and then place it together. So that way when the glue dries, the lollipops will be secured against each other and we don't have to worry about them moving.
Now this ribbon came from the Wreath shop. It was $8.75. It's 2.5 by 10 yards. We're going to go ahead and fold it in half, and then we're going to take scissors and cut upward, and that's how we're going to ducktail our ribbon, which gives us a nice finish. Now I'm going to take the ribbon, loop it, pinch it in the middle, hold it, then grab the ribbon again and make another loop, and then we have two loops, and that's going to be our bow. I struggle with making bows, but I keep on trying because that's the only way you're going to be able to learn. They do have the little bow dabber that you can use, and sometimes that works for some people. Some people I watch make big bows in their hand with no problem. But like I said, we're going to keep on with this bow. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it so we can go ahead and ducktail that in. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and take a Chanel stem, wrap it around the material, so this way we can attach the bow to the wreath. I'm just going to twist it around a couple times so that way it stays secure, and then we're just going to go ahead and ducktail the other end of our ribbon before we place it on the wreath. Now we'll take our bow, place it on the wreath. We'll take the Chanel stems, open it up, and wrap it around the bar of the wreath underneath. And that Chanel stem, twist it around several times, will keep it in place. And like I always say, if you want to add a little hot glue, you can. But twisting the Chanel stem around the bar will keep the bow in place. I took a couple pieces of ribbon, cut it down, and then I ducktail the ends, and I'm just going to go ahead and place that throughout our wreath. You can also use a solid orange or a solid pink if you have it, and just add that in. That's the only thing about being here. There's no Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Dollar Tree to run to when you think, oh wow, I could have added this color to it. But we're going to use what we have, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this ribbon in. And I do like this ribbon, so we're just going to go ahead and cut it up and add it throughout our wreath. So I decided just to go ahead and add another bow to make it look like both lollipops are on the stick with the bow around them. So I looped it, twisted, and went on ahead and used my Chanel stem to bring it all together. And like I said, I'm going to take the Chanel stem through the wreath, take the two ends and then tie it to the frame of the wreath to keep it connected. And if you want, you can add a little hot glue to the butt of the Chanel stem and just go ahead and push it against the lollipops. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some more ribbon to our wreath. Make a big bow, so I'm going to go ahead and try this bow dabber. So I'm going to put a Chanel stem at the bottom of it so that way we can use it to wrap around our bow when we're done. Place the bow in. We got a little end there, so that'll be the end of our bow. And I'm just going to squeeze the ribbon, place it inside, fix the bow so they're even on both sides. And then I'm just going to go ahead and place the ribbon in, fold it, twist it, and bring it over and then put it back in the slot. And then this way, whatever amount of loops I do on one side is the exact amount of loops you want to do on the other side. So depending on how loose you want your bow to be or how big you want your bow to be, the Gadabra holds it tight for you, and you just take the ribbon, twist it over, place it inside the bow dabber, and when you're satisfied with it, then you just go ahead and cut your ribbon. I'm going to use this to push down. I think it's supposed to go straight across. I have not used this thing and I don't know how long, but I keep saying I want to work on my bows, so this is why I'm going to go ahead and use this so we can make a big bow. So you're supposed to pull it up like that, but then I decided I wanted the twisty part to be in the back, but I only wanted one part of that to show. So I just lift it up, and if you make that mistake or if you forget to put one in, just pull it up, hold the ribbon real tight, and then go ahead and have your Chanel stem, and then just go ahead and wrap it around your bow. And once we have it ready, we're just going to go ahead and place it right on our wreath. I'm going to go ahead and ducktail the ends of the bow before I put it on the wreath. It is big and floppy. We can use the bow dabber. With that, you can put a lot of ribbon inside of it. So I guess if we really want big bows, we'll just have to try it that way. The hand method, I'm still going to work on it. But then I'm going to go ahead and take the Chanel stem through the wreath and then flip the wreath over and then take the Chanel stem and attach it to the frame of the wreath. And then we have our bow on there, and we are done with this DIY. Well, my loves, we are done with our pink and orange lollipop wreath. Thank you for stopping by and spending time with me. If you're new, hit that subscribe button because I would love to have you here and go on this journey and be a part of our YouTube family. If you're returning, you are truly appreciated. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button. Feel free to share my video. Have a blessed day, and remember, it costs nothing to be kind. We will see you in our next video. Aloha.